Welcome back to Die Sexy, the podcast that talks about all there is to achieve ultimate health and vitality. Your host, longevity specialist Adrian Smith, will bring you an integrated approach to the human body.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Die Sexy podcast with Coach Adrian Smith. And today I have on Jason Dhir, the co founder of Conscious One. And if any of you know me at all in any way, shape, or form, you know I'm completely addicted to it. Um, so I had to get him on here to talk about that, and who knows what else we'll discuss. But being really focused on the whys behind all of this, I think is going to be important and how it plays into dying sexy. So, Jason, welcome.
Adrian, pleasure to be on your show. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm a fan of your podcast. You do a fantastic job, so excited to be here.
Well, thank you. I have been waiting all week for this, like a kid in a candy shop. I'm like, woo, it's like cheat day today. So pretty stoked about that. So, Jason,
Likewise.
why don't you kind of get into your background in this industry and what brought you into creating your supplement company?
So, quick review of the background. I was born in England, moved here when I was young to the United States. Always had this fantasy of, the United States is always like this, not just land of opportunity, but it's the place for like athletes, performance enhancement. There's no place you want to be besides America. I know there's a lot of great athletes in other countries as well, but it's so mainstream here. So I moved to the US and really caught that bug. Opened a nutrition store when I was 19 years old. So I was in the game young. Then I just loved it. That's all I cared about. I'm a college dropout, went to Ohio State, was pre-med and then nutrition, and then actually left after 2.5 years. I was not far from actually competing, graduating, but I left. I ended up just being taken under the wing of some very amazing mentors, which I have a lot of gratitude and appreciation for. And through them, I got to learn even more and started consulting with other companies and still operating my store. And then eventually I moved into party throwing, got my rebellious streak out of the way, which a lot of people know me from that background. And after a lot of soul searching, I went on a couple of very long sabbaticals and came back to. I sold my store actually and left throwing parties, and came back to consulting with a very fresh pair of eyes, and started realizing that there were holes in the market and that people were just really not making good products. And that, some of the products that were around 10 years ago are actually a lot better than the products that are available now. And that we're actually going the wrong way. So even though we're going to, very simple formulas and simple products and things are more organic, which is a really great movement, we've also really left behind what it is to actually make effective products. Some of it being because, the powers to be have banned certain things that work well in performance enhancement, but also, there's just become with the internet, there's become such a wave of misinformation. So I went through kind of a crazy period of time in my life and just made this decision. I'm going to start a brand called Ultra Human. And we just want to make the best of the best. And it really wasn't a business decision. It was actually a personal decision. I was frustrated. More and more professional athletes were, asking me. I was doing some diets and training with some high level people, and I couldn't really got to a point I couldn't really recommend anything. I was like, a lot of these products are just shit, and no one cares. Everything is just shit. Like customer service is terrible, shipping process, everything's terrible, and the ingredients, the sourcing's bad. So I started Ultra Human, and we started out with nootropics and amino acids because I felt there was no very few non artificial amino acids. So that's the product we started out with, and the nootropic market I felt just wasn't very good. So that created the birth of Ultra Human, and then from there we really moved into more and more different products and really spread our wings. Now we've got quite a following, a very underground following. For those of you who don't know us, it doesn't surprise me because we don't do any social media. We don't do any currently TikTok, nothing right now. Our brands continue to grow like a weed just based upon referrals only. But that's where we're at today, Adrian.
Man, that's fantastic because I know that, I mean, I can't, I always get hesitant, but I take a container in the gym with me and have it there for my clients. And, every once in a while they'll come in. I'm like, did you have caffeine today? And as long as they say no, I'll give them that. And I they barely finish the workout, and I'm like, they're like, what is that magical stuff? Um, and to go back real quick before we get into that about the quality of the ingredients. I know, I mean, being a student of Charles Poliquin and being a stickler for my own body, what I put in my body, because in all honesty, I'm lazy and don't want to fix the damage from it. You know what I mean? Um, and also the way that I take care of myself is important, right? I'm trying to die sexy, right? I'm trying to, I don't want to say beat aging because that's the process we go through, but it's that quality for me. So when you got into the looking at the ingredients and being so specific and looking at the purity of your ingredients, kind of talk about that process because I don't think many people understand how pain in the ass that can be and the cost behind it and the research behind it. So, kind of enlighten the audience on what that really means to have a quality product.
Yeah. So there are several things you deal with, and when it comes to quality of a product, I think it's really underestimated. We sort of have this mentality when it comes to quality of like, okay, here's a cow, and here's like, the his ribs, and here's like the filet mignon piece, and here's like the scraps, and we sort of think, well, it just all comes from the same. It's just not really how it works. In this world, you really have to be very careful about how you source stuff because things can really perform differently. So you've got things like different forms that we have to be aware of. So, for example, if you have a magnesium glycinate form or an aspartate form versus an oxide, you're going to get a lot more absorption out of it. So you really could have two ingredients that both list as magnesium. One absorbs threefold over the other with less wastage and a lot more efficiency. But the public a lot of the time has no idea how to read that. But that's something that we want to take the guesswork out of doing and saying like, okay, we've curated like the best forms we can. The second piece of the component of sourcing raw materials and quality ingredients is the components of these things like herbs. So we use herbs, nutrients we source. For example, we import a very specific tea from Thailand. What is the grade of that tea? What is the standardization of these plants and herbs? And making sure that the whole thing is used. Because a lot of the time, and actually a mutual friend of ours, Eric Serrano, him and I've had many lengthy conversations about this, that when you extract sometimes an active ingredient and leave all of the wastage, you really take it into the science, but you really take it away from the nature, and it just doesn't work. So one thing that we really stand for in Ultrahuman is not just a holistic approach for our clients and our humankind, but also with the product itself. We're a big fan of using the entire plant. It just works better. I don't know why. After 26 years in this industry, I still cannot explain it. I actually had a group of farmers in South Africa again on a conference call, and at the end of the call, really come down to the fact where they said to me, "Jason, you're trying to figure out something, and you're not God." And it really changed my life because I realized that I had been working with scientists, very very intelligent chemists, some of you might even know, on trying to take a singular extract and have an effect, and we couldn't figure out why the active ingredient is not actually working, but the whole herb is. And that kind of led me down this crazy rabbit hole of understanding that things are often best left as nature. So this is something that we are very cognizant of. The last thing is the dosage and paying it forward and paying the extra money to do it. Conscious One, the product you mentioned, is extremely expensive to make and extremely complicated. So we don't just source like any Bacopa. We actually source Synapsa Bacopa and Prima Vici Legit, which are really top end, double, triple expense raw materials that we know that are tested for like metals, tested for like pesticides. They're organic, they're clean. And that's what we want to do. So we want absorbable forms. We want whole forms the way nature intended. I always say God is the greatest scientist. I call flack for that. I don't know why. I really think that it's the proof's in the pudding. And then, the third thing is really making sure that we're dosed correctly and we're offering consumers the best of the best for still what I would consider a reasonable price.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. I mean, I am not a scientist when it comes to the nutrient breakdown in the chemistry of food that way. I'm more on the upper end of how it works with the body, but it goes with the same thing with anything you talk about. It's that whole, and I know with Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, even Thai. I was in Thailand for 17 days, learned Thai massage there. We learned to use herbs, put them together for different things. So you learn how nature synergistically works together within itself, but also paired with other things. I mean, we can go down a rabbit hole with that, and I won't. But I love it that you were like, I'm not willing to give up this just to say I do this. That's
Correct.
huge,
Yeah,
huge.
we are like a um, to be very blunt, Adrian. At this point in my life, I just don't need it. I don't care. Like I don't care. I've lived enough life at this point. I'm not that I know that I don't know it all, and I'm not going to figure it all out. It's not worth giving somebody an 8 out of 10 product. It's just not worth my time. It's not worth their time. It's not worth anyone's time. I've spent so much time in this industry to a point where like I've realized 99% of it's bullshit. It's a complete waste of time. Nothing works. No one cares. No one gives a shit. I sound really negative, but like we need to be honest. Like let's not be so positive about what's really going on. Like everybody's about margin. Like these protein bars are becoming this big. There's nothing in it. It's 3.99. Like you're just jacking me off. Like you're wasting my time. You're wasting everyone's time. No one really cares. And as more and more products have become in the market, it used to be, there were like 10 or 15 major supplement companies. Now there's hundreds, thousands of supplement companies. But who's making the supplements? Business people, not people that actually really understand it and actually care. And you've got like, a handful of doctors that are really great, but a lot of the medical community, they're gone. They don't understand this world. They're never versed in it. Athletes are great at being athletes. A lot of time they don't know how to make the product. So it's it's really kind of moved into this phase of like you have to really do it from your heart, for lack of for sorry to sound cliche, but I really, really genuinely care about my products and give them to people. I can't look someone in the eye and give somebody a mediocre product and sleep well at night. I don't care about the money. This is Ultra Human has nothing to do with money at all when it comes to creating a great product. If the prices of my raw materials go up, I might have to add a dollar or two to the bottle. But at the end of the day, I never want to sacrifice that just for margin, cost of goods, and all of these business analytics. I've met with probably since I started this company, I've probably met with 50 different business people. Everybody, and you know what? I haven't done any deals with any of them because they all want to cheapen the product, cost of goods got to go down, this has to change. I don't want to change it. Like I'm not going to do it. If you guys want to sell out and do it, by all means, go ahead. I sleep well at night, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? I think that's fantastic because I get it. I mean, that's how I am with the services I provide people. I would rather turn you away and say I can't do it. Find somebody. I mean, at this 26 years in this industry as well, Jason, I have a Rolodex full of people to find someone that can handle what I cannot or help me if they don't want to take it on themselves. But I won't put my name on. We joke in my gym about, Body by Adrian. I always tell them, you're not wearing my t-shirt today because your quality of life is not what I need it to be. So no, but
Yes.
it does boil down to what I will put my name on. And, I respect that so much. And and two, for me, with a company like this is, I mean, I've contacted you with women that are breastfeeding, that are pregnant. Can I give this to younger kids? Like I look at all of that because I think there is a misplacement of supplementation, quality of supplementation, and things that can really help. And I don't like to be cornered and say, well, I can't use these products because I really don't know what's in it. I don't know the quality. I don't know the sourcing. I don't know the dosage, is what is put on the label. So therefore, I can't really give it to you because I don't know. I don't like that because when I get my clients, they're coming to me with some real shit. They're coming to me with, I've been to 25 other people. I've had these done and this test done and this test done, and I have no answers. So again, for me, it's putting my name on it as well. So that's huge
Yeah.
for me working with your company like that because I can't ever recommend something that I don't believe in. So
And
I
that's what I
love it.
love about you, Adrian.
Yeah, yeah, I won't do it. I'm like, nah. And because like you said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And to just be able to say to somebody, okay, I have this product, just take it and I should do something. And if not, oh well. Sorry, that sounds like a medical doctor to me. No offense to any of you out there, but typically that's how they work, and I'm not about it. I have to be able to explain the whys, to know what's behind everything. As an engineer, it comes back to how does it work? What is it going to do? So I know how to reverse engineer it
Yep.
and give it to somebody to do what I need it to do. So
Oh.
totally respect that and love that and don't change. Let's just say that.
No, I
Um,
love that about you, and to just add kind of a cherry on top to it. I think that this is why you're so successful at what you do, and you have lines of clients that want to work with you because you are the real deal. And that's the thing. I think we're in a day and age too with the younger generation who sometimes they do like entrepreneurial talks, and I see a lot of people that are looking for like this mentorship. And I tell them, I'm like, everybody's looking for like this kind of fast cash, fast everything. And a lot of the time, it's like you're going to sell out. And I tell them, I say, look, build a real brand, become a real thing, make it legitimate, make it authentic, like be true, be transparent. Like these things make such a big difference. And sometimes it is a slower, longer runway to really grow a business that way because you really have to get that messaging across and show your face and prove yourself. But it speaks for itself, and that's something you've always done, and that's why you've been in business for coming up 3 decades, and it's amazing what you do. And I wish there were more people out there from a training, coaching, lifestyle standpoint, and supplement standpoint, medical doctor, whatever business lawyer standpoint that you're in, is just finding that there's plenty of money there for you. Don't worry about that, but mostly you'll find an alignment with yourself and being able to sleep better at night and knowing that you are actually contributing and changing people's lives. When you change one person's life, they come crying to you about the impact you've had on them. It really, you know, overshadows 20 people that just went online and just bought your product that you never talked to.
yes, yes, yes. And like you said earlier, it comes from the heart. I mean, that's my chakra of life. If I can't do something I do with love, forget it. I mean, Jason, I came from mechanical engineering at 20 years old. I was making six figures. I had it fucking made. I was gonna own the company, so on and so forth. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. And stumbling into being a trainer in a box gym and then down this road that I've done. I mean, listen, even if I wasn't, I'm going to be honest with you, if I was married and had a good financially stable husband or abundant husband, I probably would do this shit for free because I just think I love it. I mean, I love it. And that's what keeps me going every day. I don't feel like I go to work. I'm like, shit, I get to get up and have fun with people today and change their lives and show them parts of themselves that they've never seen before. I had a guy on the table who came in yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he walked in the door and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. No one, I know you can fix me. No one can fix me." It was a leg thing. It doesn't matter. It was he had swinging golf, whatever. He was tight on one side. But again, something so simple. He goes, "I thought you went out of business. You weren't doing this anymore." And like, I started panicking. I'm like, "Who's gonna work on me?" Because I didn't message him back right away. So he flipped out and he goes, "I'm so happy to see you." Well, he's on my table. We start talking. His daughters, 7 and 9, were just diagnosed with celiacs. And I'm like, dude, whoa, time out, right? Time out. Genetically, or is this something that's going on with their gut, right?
Right.
Either way, either way, how about give them some armor to deal with it? You know? So it was kinda cool, I got to talk to him about that, so, I mean, it's the way it happens, like, the fact that he ended up back on my table after 3 years of not seeing him, fixed him in 5 minutes, but then had a conversation about his children that he's like, no one told me this. No one said there was another option to help my children," you know?
Yeah.
Um, but it comes down to that education, but mostly the passion, like, why do I spend so much time with my face in the books? I mean, 26 years of studying everything I've studied, and I'm just now feeling like, it's okay to talk about the things I know because you're always worried about giving the misinformation. And what I've come to realize, like right now, I'm working on this book, and the one thing I realize is if I don't get it out soon, then in 6 months when it should be finished, I have to start all over because I'm like, it's old news, right? It's old news. So I have to move fast because I do continue to learn so much. And there is never going to be, I think, an end to that education. And I have to feel comfortable putting out what I know at the moment as the most up to date research and experience that I've had, knowing that it can change.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
along with that comes that humility that you always have of, I don't know it all. I'm not God, as you said earlier. I only know what I know at this moment in time based on all these things like research, scientific data, experience, other clients' experience, other trainers' experience, and I put it as a whole and say, okay, what gift can I offer this person? What door can I offer this person? And sometimes it's literally that aha moment of people taking time to look at themselves, which
Yeah.
people don't do nowadays, right?
Mm.
So a lot of times for me, it's literally that knock on the forehead of, hey, you're in there, you're in there. Open up your eyes, wake up, right?
Yeah.
And that just changes everything. So yeah, I can't imagine not doing what I do, and I love with love. I love love.
Well, you're probably like not just a breath of fresh air when somebody meets you. It's like you're a lifeline for people, Adrian. Like I think that like this people need that now more than ever because there's so much misinformation and they need a trusted source and they don't know where to go. And this is the problem. Like there's a lot of people that know the information. And I'm very guilty of this too. It's like people that know good information. A lot of time we struggle getting it out. And then people meet us and like, man, where are you? Like, you need this channel. You need this. Is why I love you were doing this podcast. Like, it's
Thank you.
just we just forget the value of like what we can actually provide to humankind. That there really is like this greater thing, the greater purpose. And the people, the gentleman you mentioned with the celiacs, kids, and I see this a lot with that, and autistic kids, and kids have problems or gut issues, or you know, all the time people are dealing with problems and they don't know where else to go. What does everyone tell them? Just go to a doctor. And doctors fucking puts them on meds, more and more meds, crazy meds, and then they get even sicker and more problems. And a lot of people, they in the grand scheme of there's 8 billion people in the world, and the people that really are questioning stuff is actually only this big. But that's still a lot of people. Hundreds of millions of people still right now are questioning these things, and they don't really have any place to go. So I think
Yeah.
getting that information out, providing it's
Yeah, I
critical.
think I think educating on what not to do is better than focusing on what to do sometimes.
Yep.
And I
Remember.
mean, one of the negative things I see a lot of people doing on social media is taking other people and posting their posts and talking about them and making fun of them. Like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I just want to say, hey, these are the questions you should find out about your trainer before you hire them. These are some red flags and fill in the gaps in between there. Something as simple as training. Like everybody's a professional trainer nowadays, which is annoying. But, I like to teach people that there's just like the only thing between you and that road is your tires. The only thing between you and that surgery is a trainer, right?
Yeah.
So make sure it's a good one and don't buy the cheap tires. Okay.
Yeah.
Not always the best. Um, oh, I went out of focus there. Well, that's okay. All right. So Jason, to continue down this, when you got into creating your product, like kind of outside of leading you down the path of you wanted a better product for people, what else made you focus on those specific things as far as the aminos, which you don't really need to talk about anymore because, like you said, you kind of discontinued that. But even, I mean, the beef liver, like, hello, right? A lot of people looking for that, and I don't think people understand the importance of the quality as well as how much you have. And again, the conscious one, like what made you say these are the products I want to target?
So I really again, if a company makes a great product, I'm not going to compete with them. I don't really have any interest in making fish oils. I think Carlson makes a great fish oil. I think Serrano's Alpha Omega is good. I think that like Wiley's is good. I think that there's a bunch out there that are good. I don't really have any interest in going that market, but I see other problems. The amino acid that I make, I actually am still making it right now. We sell a lot of this product right now with 4 different flavors of it, and this is it right here. amino code.
Yep.
And this product I brought because I was so sick of, first off, the amino ratios are problematic. So a lot of people make amino acids, they're just throwing shit in there. They don't really have any, clout put into the product as far as what these exact ratios are. So I wanted to make sure the ratios were correct. I wanted to make sure the electrolytes were high absorption and not just shit. I also wanted to make sure the product, and this is where it goes going the extra mile. I wanted to make sure that there was nothing artificial in the product. Now, I can't believe when I really look at it, these companies that are quoting and making claims that their products are so great, yet they're still using artificial red dyes in it to color it. If your product is that good, the best of the best, I want you to sit down next to me. And if it's so good, and I say, what would you rate your product to 10? Like, oh, it's 10. Do you think you can get away with a beetroot extract instead? Oh, that's going to cost one more penny. So it's not that good. Like, at the end of the day, I don't understand why, like, we think this fucking, like, product is like a 10. And everybody puts their stuff on a pedestal, but there's holes in it. And I think that, when I started talking to people, like, hey, I think that we need this all natural amino acid. I think that the liver, this product right here, that you had mentioned, there's a lot of grass-fed products. I noticed that there's not any grass-finished liver out there. So I'm like, well, wait a second here. You can grass-fed for 51% of the life of the cow and then just start pounding all the grains, which the second half of the life of the cow is probably eating as much, if not more at this point. And who knows this 51% of it's exact. And again, how much does it really cost me? It might cost me an extra couple bucks to use a grass-finished instead of a fed, but it's a better product. So, fish oils, there's great multivitamins out. There's great products out there. I don't have any interest in getting involved in that. I'm actually going to refer business to you that I can outsource to somebody else. Say like, hey, you're already doing this. This is great. But there was no amino acids that I felt were that good. Some of them that are really good that I was using at the time that are natural. I still didn't think that they had spent the time on the taste, the mixability, the convenience, maybe some of them are too expensive. So I was like, $39.95. Let's get the public a great all natural amino acid. They can give it to their kids. There's nothing artificial in it. And same thing with the Conscious One is I feel like we've just gone to like this Adderall market. Like everyone's pounding fucking Adderalls. The nootropics was a really, really hot button for me because there's two types of nootropics out there, and only two. I feel like there's either druggy meth Adderall, or like the super like paracetams, which they banned now. So you've got like these crazy stems, 1,3-dimethyls that people are taking, and but they're more like drugs. People are taking Vyvanse and stuff like this. Or you also have modafinil is really popular, which is an anti-narcoleptic drug, which is used, obviously people are using it to stay awake for 2 or 3 days and work. Or people get strung out. Or you've also got the natural stuff and people take, which you can just go to a store and take, oh, this is like nature's Adderall. And it doesn't work. And I take it, I'm like, dude, I feel like shit. It doesn't do anything. So natural, organic, do I want to take healthy, but I don't feel anything? I got to take it for 16 weeks to get an effect, maybe, and waste all this money? Or do I want to just go get scripts or go on the black market and get drugs? So when I made Conscious One, I brought a container here for you so you guys can see. And when I made this product, I was like, let's make something as organic and natural as possible where you have long-term health benefits. The longer you take the product, the better the product will work for like actually helping regenerate and also detoxify. And when you take it short-term in one dose, like your clients do before they work out, hey, I can actually feel this. So I'm getting the instant, I hate to use it instant gratification, but I'm getting the instant gratification of a nootropic. 20 minutes, I can feel it. Lasts for maybe 5 hours. And then I also have the long-term gratification of this is actually healthy. You see more and more people, their brains are just fried out. Kids are taking modafinil, they're 15 years old. And they're taking some very, very hard drugs. Like, where is this kid going to be when he's 80 years old? Where are you going? You're on 30 milligram Adderall XRs twice a day at the age of 21. So what are you going to do when you're 30? What are you going to do with your 40? Like, no one thinks about these long-term trajectory and long-term consequences of what they're putting in their body. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that. And the last product is our Detox 19. And I saw a really big need for this product. All the products I make are only if there's a need and if I feel like no one's really made it out there, which is I see more and more heavy metals in people's bodies just skyrocketing. You see more and more metals, lead, arsenic, cadmium, mercury, fluoride, all of this stuff. Fluoride's just a byproduct. It's a waste product. The elites don't even know what to do with it. So let's put it in water. Let's tell people it's good to drink, be good for your teeth. Let me remind you, if you trust the ADA at one point said that mercury was safe. And now they put mercury in your mouth. And now what? Now they're saying, you need to go see a specialist and take the mercury out. And very, very few people actually specialize in really doing it properly. But the same person that bullshitted you and screwed you over, the ADA, you're just going to trust them again. And then they're going to screw you again, and then you're going to trust them again. How many times do you want to keep going back into this relationship while somebody continues to screw you over? I don't want to do it anymore. I want to be on the other side of it. I want to help people detox. So I made heavy metal detox product, Detox 19, specifically for the large increase in people that have consumed so many metals. I know that I'm watching with in real time this growing market of people that are having success detoxifying from heavy metals. They say they sleep better, they think better, their brain's operating better, their inflammation's gone, their joints feel better, their skin's better. Must be doing something. So last but not least, this is my flagship product right now. It's my hottest selling product I have with Conscious One, and it works great for helping support detoxification of metals and kind of getting you back to the way nature intended and God intended for you to be as a human being, not some conductive magnet.
Well, and it's interesting because I'm actually I'm working with a little girl right now that was accidentally given all her HB vaccines at the same time within like 2 weeks of each other, at the same time the MMRI, while she had a virus in her body. So she was sick at the same time. They did diagnose her with autism around, I don't know exactly what year she was when they diagnosed her, but she's developmentally behind. The interesting thing is that it wasn't even autism, it is that her mother was had Hashimoto's while she was pregnant with her. So that amount of vaccines in her body with a virus all at the same time actually triggered Hashimoto's in her at 3 months old. So the developmental issues that she's having is actually from Hashimoto's, which now mom is pregnant with her third. So through that conversation, we're actually treating the firstborn to make sure that he doesn't end up with Hashimoto's during puberty. We're dealing with mom while she's pregnant to keep all those cells quiet so that the baby doesn't get anything transferred over through um, development and through birth. But then also dealing with the little girl right now. And the first thing we did was clean up the food. The second thing is, like you said, start the detoxification process. And in 4 days of being on just cleaning up her food, which she's allergic to everything, of course, because she has autoimmune, she started counting out loud. So she went from nonverbal to in 4 days after counting.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, she's sleeping through the night now. We've done some really cool things, but it's the same thing. It's like what triggered, and like I told the parents, it doesn't even matter at this point, chicken or egg. We just have this to deal with right now, and let's just deal with it. Let's prevent
Yeah.
what we can later on as well. So actually, when I first got introduced to your company, it was for the Detox 19 because I had heavy metals. And I can't tell you how many people I started with that product with you. And then of course, me being nosy, I started looking at everything else and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this magical stuff here? And when I started using it, like I don't do well with caffeine, but especially caffeine from shit products. My brain picks up on it in 10 seconds because I do not produce glutathione. So all of those toxins, especially carried with caffeine, just sits right in my brain. And I will know within 15 minutes if you're lying to me about the quality of your coffee and also if you have mold on it, right? I can tell you in 15 minutes. Unfortunately, it lasts for days for me because I can't get rid of it. It's in my brain. So the detox definitely helped me with that. Now, when we talk about the quality of your product and how you're using it and what you're using it for, what would you say the guidelines are as far as using it for children? Like, can we take a Detox 19 and use it in small doses for the kids?
I have a 2-year-old at home, and we're starting to give her. First off, we're very particular about what she eats. We're very particular about what soap she uses in the bath. We're very particular about what she consumes in the water, any drugs. I mean, we're really careful. So, like, my daughter's like metals are probably already very, very within where they should be, right? But with still everything going on, we still detoxify her. We are literally, as we speak, starting to give her a really, really small amount. Though we already give her amino acids, we already give her a little bit of liver. We already going to start giving her a little bit of detox here and there, maybe a half a capsule every other day, just a small amount, just kind of as a preventative thing. See nothing wrong with it. This goes back to the restrictions of what we can and cannot do and can and cannot say. So a lot of the time I have to put on products. Hey, this is for 18 and up. This is for adults, not suitable for children. But me talking as a dad, I'm gonna give them to my kids. So I I can't openly, maybe legally in some cases, recommend something for a child that's under the age of 5. But what I tell people is I say I'm very comfortable giving it to my kids if they were 5 years old. And that's how we are with all the products. So same thing with the amino acids. We should give them to kids right now. But that's a product I can tell parents that they can give them to adults, not infants per se, but like young children. You can definitely give them the amino acids in the liver. Conscious One obviously has some caffeine in it, so that I would be a little bit more cautious of. But I think if you're a parent out there and you have children, and any of your children have been vaxxed or had metal fillings by chance, or is just exposed to a lot of chemicals in any way or form, I think you should start detoxing your children. I really do. I think it's a good bet. And again, I can't
Well,
advise it, but my opinion would be that.
absolutely. And I think with the amount of plastics that we're inhaling every day, I just think detoxification, unfortunately, should be pretty much a priority from the minute you hit this earth, if not before. I mean, we know that there's what is it? I think the last time I looked, it was like 20,000 different chemicals in the umbilical cord of
Yep.
the average child being born. I mean, that's absurd. So, I agree with you. I think that more educated parents, and yes, legally you have to put those things on the labels, but knowing the difference, I mean, I would give it to my children are grown, but I definitely gave them some things when they were younger, and I'm not mad about it. They're fantastic. They've never hardly been sick ever. I think my youngest one had one stomach virus when she was 9. She's 22.
Wow.
Maybe when she went to college, she had a couple colds here and there, little viruses here and there, but I mean, knock on wood, we were always going in for health visits. We never had to go in for sick visits.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
only to get the paper signed, for school so they can get in, like, oh yeah, we did this.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
stupid stuff, but whatever. So if we get into the specific ingredients, if you want to do that, and most of your other stuff like the beef liver is pretty simple. We know what's in there. The conscious one, I have a lot of people on this. I mean, women with anxiety, their kids are driving them crazy. They're burning the candle at both ends. And this, I will tell you guys, my experience is I took it this morning at 7. I'm still going good. I will go good. And then all of a sudden, you lay down to go to sleep and you go to sleep just fine. It's this constant, steady awareness, brain activities firing. Everything's great. The caffeine doesn't give me the jitters and make me all crazy and shaky. You don't get that heart palpitation. You don't get that slam after a couple of hours that regular like coffee or caffeine would do to you. So I know there's 4 different points I guess you make when I was looking over the ingredient list, and it's you have 4 targets. You have the flow optimization, awaken, active, adapt, vivid, clarity, neutral pathway, and then the pineal activation. Dude, that just like gives me, if I was a guy, I'd have a heart on right now. Like those are amazing words. So like break that down and talk about it a little bit and what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So I think there's multiple facets to this product. Like when Conscious One was built, I'm still struggling, honestly, understanding the marketing of this product, because it's not really a nootropic. Everybody's whoever I sell the product to is trying to categorize, like a retailer is like, well, where do we put this? Because there's a lot of greens in it. It's like a greens product. I'm like, nah, not really. Is it nootropic? Kind of. Is it more for memory? Yeah, kind of that too. And I use it as pre-workout. You could, but it's not really like this category for this product. And The main reason is I wanted to make something that was a very holistic approach to cognitive enhancement. And shouldn't even say enhancement. I want to reframe it in a way, rephrase it as cognitive like realignment, maybe. Okay. Is we have already operating great brains, but I do believe that I'm a big believer in pineal gland and it getting calcified. I think that there's still very little research on it. No one really wants to go down that rabbit hole, but I do believe that that is a center of your consciousness, right? So I think that high levels of calcium calcification is a problem. I think that relates to detoxification and balancing calcium levels in your system. Um, so this is where a lot of people are taking high levels of D, but also taking the vitamin K with it, boron with it, and so forth, and also detoxification process. So we use shilajit in here, chlorella in here, organic spirulina, uh, kelp, so forth, to really help kind of start that detoxification process. So some of the ingredients are in Detox 19 are actually in Conscious One, not to the level that's in Detox 19, but a small amount because obviously Conscious One is something you probably take daily. I do love stacking them for that reason to get the full detoxification effect. The um, idea of the product is to still get you that instant stimulant effect. So there is caffeine in it, there is tyrosine in there to kind of get that dopamine increase as well. You take the product, you notice that you feel energized, you feel alert. But one thing to balance this out is to have the other properties of it, such as theanine and synapse bacopa, to re-level you out and to not have you so overstimulated. People take pre-workouts, they take just vast amounts of coffee. What they don't realize is that these high amounts of stimulants can actually deoxygenate the brain. 400 milligrams of caffeine, which is a lot, but is actually quite common in a large Starbucks coffee or some of these pre workouts, can actually decrease oxygenation to the brain by up to 30%. So, the idea of the product is how do we get you? You can still use some caffeine, there's caffeine in the product, but how can we give you a stimulation effect and have you in a heightened state, energized mentally, but also have you in a calm, alert state and centered and not completely strung out? And actually, if anything, increase oxygenation to the brain so you can think clearly with more clarity. The other aspect of the product I have is some of the mushrooms we use in there. We use like a hot water extracted cordyceps and lion's mane, which is really great for like a brain regeneration as well, and just like your overall brain health. I want to be cognizant again with things like Adderalls, where you feel like you're focused, but what is the long term damage of this? I want Conscious One during the process of making it to be something that is regenerative and can actually help us rebuild neural pathways and help keeping us centered. And like you said, still be able to sleep at night, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
people banging these modafinils don't sleep for 2 days. I don't think that that's good for your brain.
No, I mean, you're just talking about the aging in itself. I mean,
Correct.
again, how do you naturally detoxify? I mean, you can take all these products all you want to, but if you're not sleeping at nighttime, you're adding in more fit than you're able to get out. I mean, I always look at detoxification like if this were the container and I had a pinhole down here and this whole top was off and I'm filling it up, well, you're going to overflow. You're
Yep.
not getting it out fast enough. So you need to be able to flip that over. That's how it should be. So sleep alone, I mean, people think that it's not important following a circadian rhythm. I mean, don't get me started because you know that's my big thing is
Yep.
following that 24-hour, that 30-day and the 365-day rhythms that we have, and they're instilled in every cell of our body, every cell of our body, right? And what starts that? First thing in the morning, you wake up, you get sun in your eyes, and light of any sort. I won't get technical about it right now, but that starts your cells. Your cells of your entire body are like, oh, we're awake. It's time to eat. It's time for this, and it's almost like a domino effect in a way. It's like you get the light in your eyes, and then boom, 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 all your cells start to turn on at different times of that morning of that day, just like they start shutting off at nighttime. So, if you are doing all these stimulants and all that, or I have people that literally can go get a large Starbucks coffee and that puts them to sleep. Can we talk about the overstimulation that they've been in all day that it's actually completely wiping you out? So it's all about that balance, but like you said, it's too much. And yes, you have to sleep, you have to eat right. We're not saying that you take supplements and that's it, but to go along with that too is I would love to say we can just eat whole foods and be done. It doesn't work because our food sources are not that great. How much
Yeah,
heavy metal are you getting in just your food, right? Like when
hmm
people ask me, what tea, what coffee, and it's easier nowadays to find a coffee that's cleaner than it is a tea. I haven't quite done that outside of Conscious One because there's no testing for heavy metals. There's no testing for molds and funguses and herbicides and pesticides, and you don't know what you're getting. And
yeah.
to put more of that in your body is just crazy. So, you know, it's important to be able to take something like this, feel amazing, stay focused, get everything done, and feel like I'm adding something beneficial to what I'm already doing
Definitely.
so that it's not like, sometimes for me coffee feels dirty. I'm like, oh, and I do good coffees, but it doesn't feel as clean. When I do Conscious One,
No.
I feel like I've just had like celery juice in the morning. It's fantastic.
I um I actually I actually quit coffee probably close to about 9 years ago, 10 years ago, and it wasn't intentional. Like it wasn't like this big plan of like I actually started feeling sick off of it. So I would go to Starbucks and I would there was a Starbucks literally right next to me, and I would drink. I had a cup of coffee and I'd do a lot of meetings there. And I always had like this favorite spot I would sit next to, similar type time of day in the afternoon, do meet. I started to notice I was like one day I just felt kind of like this weird kind of buzz. And then the next time, it got a little bit worse, a little bit worse. And it got to a point where like I went there, I had just a small basic coffee, nothing in it really. I drank about half of it and I had to go home and lie down. I was so sick and my body was really dialed in. And it was kind of around a time where I cleaned up my diet a little bit too. So I was operating really well. My receptors were sensitive, like my adrenals were working well. And I tell you what, I was so sick and I said, I'm done. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And I started realizing about these carcinogens, mycotoxins, all of the shit that's in coffee that no one mold and no one actually even pays attention to. So yes, I appreciate what you're saying and agree with you. And that's the idea of Conscious One is like, hey, let's kill these toxins and things, and let's create a product where people can really fire on all cylinders, take 1 to 2 scoops a day, and feel really, really good and feel like themselves. I think the greatest performance enhancement methodology right now is to get back to the way you were supposed to be. Like that, this is where we've completely lost in society what it is to actually operate well. People that are so addicted to social media and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, they're doing all this stuff. You know what? Can't hold a candle to somebody that can actually sit there and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So you see more and more people in their 40s now that are getting jobs, really good jobs, because people have hired the 40 that actually have like this attention span a little bit. And they've got like younger generation that are so fried out, not just from medications and the Adderalls and drugs, but also from this so much technology and so little sunlight, so little fresh air, so little real foods. And like you said, depletion in the soil. So the foods that even they are eating good don't really have any nutrients to them. And you see like this big shift. So this is where I've become a little bit problematic with the biohacking movement. I was, very at the forefront of biohacking, and I was very pro like this word biohacking. And I've kind of like shifted a little bit because I've gotten disturbed because biohacking, what we've lost is there's two types of biohacking now. Is people that really understand that we need to get back. Like a lot of biohacking is getting back to nature. A lot of biohacking is not doing; it's undoing. So it's not like I have a biohack for you. You can download this app and do this, 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 this. Okay, you're actually fucking me up more. I need to shut the app down and just go for a fucking hike in nature. There's your biohack. Your biohack's outside. There's the sun. There's the biohack. Biohacking came from a world where, okay, we noticed that, we did blood work. Your vitamin D is maybe lower in the wintertime, so we could do something there. Hey, we noticed that your estrogen is a little high. We can kind of hack that. We could, maybe cut out some of these things that are increasing. We can cut off the soy. We can kind of lower your estrogen. And this way, it'll increase your natural testosterone production. We cut the bad estrogens. This is kind of where biohacking came from, and saunas and maybe a little bit of crack. Now it's got to a point where it's just gone fucking crazy. This is like no way to live. No offense. I'm not picking on anyone. I don't want to live like Brian Johnson. I don't have anything to do with that. I look at some of these guys that are biohackers, namely one person that apparently spent $300,000. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? Like, if you have a conversation with these people and be like, how dialed in are they? They're not that dialed in. They're like, how good is it? Like, okay, if you're so biohacked and you're so like on this train, some of these guys are like, where is like the evidence for this? I don't want to be like that. So I see sometimes like, where is the quality of life? And I may, just so you know, I'm a huge fan of Tim Ferriss. I like Tim Ferriss. Love Tim Ferriss. But Tim Ferriss talked about a way that you can sleep for like 2 hours a day. And he actually presented this idea of, okay, you can actually sleep for 20 minutes 6 times a day. So every few hours, you fall asleep for 20 minutes, and your brain actually will be able to operate on just this 2 hours. And it's a biohack, and you'll be healthy. And your body just needs this. Your body literally can survive on 120 minutes of sleep. How healthy is it to live lying down 6 times a day? I know you can do it. I know you can do it. And maybe you do feel rested. I don't want to live that way. That's the problem with this. Is like we've gotten to this place where everything has gone so like sideways. We've got to reel this back in and get back to like the way nature is. Nature has this shit figured out. And I would have, and I know I'm a bit of a rant, Adrian. Thanks,
Okay.
audience, for being patient with me here. But one of the biggest eye-opening experiences in my entire life was watching my daughter being born, beginning to end, completely naturally. So my daughter was born, no epidural, no C-section, with midwives at home. I watched this whole thing beginning to end, and I did all of the research, watched all the YouTube videos, called all the midwives, talked to the doctors. I extensively talking about my daughter here, my first daughter. It blew my mind how many things God has already figured out. Whether it be the film on their skin when they're born, whether it be the increase in oxytocin when the husband is present, whether it be the contractions moving further apart when the other sibling is close. Like all of these things that naturally I watched unfold. And I'm like, you know what? There is no way that we could even begin to hack something like this. It's already figured out, but we just keep adding and adding all of these things we need. So I'm going to kind of bring this full circle back to Ultra Human. If there was one core goal of my business, it is to realign you back to where you should be. If you take Conscious One, I want you to feel how you should be as a human. Dialed in, focused, calm, present. If you take Detox 19, you should feel actually the way you normally should feel. It's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing that people like us have to do what we have to do sometimes. It's embarrassing that we have to make a heavy metal detox product. Well, because what we're really doing is fighting the system. Because there shouldn't be all of these heavy metals in our bodies in the first fucking place. But what do? We have to constantly fight this. We have to constantly make nutrients, beef liver, multivitamins, because we can't get these from food because the soil is so depleted. So our entire goal, not just as a business, but I'm sure you feel the same way about this, is we're constantly in a state of trying to realign. I'm just trying to get somebody back to being human. I mean, you see the research, testosterone in a 70-year-old was higher now than most people that are in their 20s and 25 years old. So where is this going? Like, where is this? This is going to like sterility. Like, I would rather go back to what was that 70-year-old doing? What was the water like back then? What was showering like? What was cosmetics like back then? Deodorants, fluoride, all this stuff. What was going on back then? They had something figured out. And you know what it was? It was less. Less is more. Not having all of this stuff. Now
No,
you see more and more.
you're so right. I have an 85-year-old in my gym. She's been my client for 22 years now. She is on zero medication. She doesn't wear eyeglasses. She's just now starting to notice the difference in her hearing at 85. She is on zero medications than some of my 20-year-olds that come to me that are on 5 or 6. and it blows me away. And actually, I've been doing a series this week on my social media about ED, and ED was considered an aging disease. Okay, there's some prevalence to that if you look at the science. The science says that men in their 40s, 40% of them have ED. Men in their 70s, 70% of them have ED. Okay, that's aging. But is it really aging in the sense of getting older, or is it the amount of shit, toxins, plastics, metals, shit food, high sugar, smoking? Is that more of what's causing that to spike? It's different in a 40-year-old than a 70-year-old, right? But on top of that, 15 to 15 or 25% of males under 40 now have ED, right? ED is just a symptom. It's a symptom of something else upstream going on, typically heart disease, right? So you look at this and you say, where are we going? What really is quote unquote age related disease, or is it lifestyle related disease, right?
Mm.
Which speeds up the process of aging. It degenerates your body, deteriorates your body just faster than it used to because we do have more shit that we're dealing with as humans. And what's also interesting is we've know about the plastic toxins now. That's been something the world, I guess you can say, has been talking about for, I don't know, probably the last 15 years in my world. Publicly, I'd say at least the last 5. Yeah, we'll be fair. They've now found a bacteria in the human gut that actually fights plastic toxins in the body. How do
Wow.
we die? How do we die? Right? So you look at this and you say, how hard is it to stay vital as you age? How hard is it to have vitality and vigor and be awake in your eyes and in your brain as you age? Is it really getting old? Because I know at my age right now, there's not many that can hold a candle to me. Even guys that are 10, 20 years younger than me can't hold a candle to me. So is
Yep.
it the way that you live versus just the aging process itself? So
Yep.
that's what my whole focus is prevention of age-related disease. Because a lot of it isn't necessarily age-related, lifestyle
Yeah.
related.
I think the whole is that you are exactly right, Adrian. I absolutely I love all of this, and again, this is why we're kindred spirits, because you and I have same very similar philosophies. Not knowing the first time when we spoke that you and I feel this way, but it's
Right.
I think the biggest hole is like getting people to understand that. Then it's like if you told somebody to put their phone away for an hour, they're going to be like, "Well, I'll do anything to be healthier." Okay, let's start with putting your phone away for an hour. Well, what's that have to do with anything? I'm not doing that. I can't do that. They're going to be like, "Hey, switch to this, switch to that, make a couple basic changes, get out for a walk." Well, I don't want to walk. I don't want to be outside. I want to stay here inside. It's cooler in here. Like, there's no people don't really want to accept these things and what has to be done. And there's just so much resistance to it. And that's the problem. It's like everybody would rather just take a pill. It's too much work. It's just too much headache. But I think that people don't have that awareness of it. It's like no one wants to question anything, like really, really question and say, like, hey, I'm having these symptoms. Am I actually okay? Is my body just doing naturally reacting to something that might be wrong? That I've put in my body that's toxic. So like in your situation, you drink this coffee and your body's getting a headache, and you're sitting here saying, and you feel like terrible, and you're sitting here saying, wait a second here, it must be something in that coffee that's problematic. Mold, fungus, I don't know what. But the average person right now is I drink the coffee and I take a painkiller with it. And that's my solution. And then the painkiller causes a problem. So now we just take another pill to solve that problem, but that pill caused a problem. And now we just end up downward spiraling. So I really don't think these things are that complicated. And I think like um I understand and respect science, but I think that the medical community and the scientific community more recently has just started going very, very sideways. And so many things that are just being justified. Clinical trials are not being done correctly anymore. science has become used and the medical community has become used to empower a person with a title, and the person with the title can't be questioned. And the person without the title can't say anything, but the person with the title can't be questioned, even though they are doing questionable practices. So, you know, here's a entire village of people that are living to 100. There's 1,000 people in this village, and their average age span is 94. But, well, what do they know about that? I'm the doctor, I'm the scientist, and I'm performing this and that. Like, maybe we should shut the fuck up, go to the village, and be like, what exactly do you do? But no, that means we would have to swallow our ego. That means we'd have to be open to it. And that means we might have to go for a walk. That seems like a lot of work. Do some breathing exercises. I don't know about that. Have some resistance training. Man, I'm too tired. I got a lot on my plate. Don't know if I could do that. So it's yeah, I kind of really don't care anymore. I'd rather just bang a bunch of other stuff and try and hold on life support basically till I'm 94. I had this debate. If you're on a medication that cannot get off, if you're on any medication where a doctor says you can't stop taking that, or you will have problems, maybe you'll die, aren't you already on life support? Aren't you already on life support? So again, I think getting back to, I know I'm sounding repetitive. I get back to nature. Be considerate. Look at what works. Look at what works. Look how you feel. Get to the nucleus of it. Adrian, I know a lot of your business about getting to the nucleus root. You meet with a client, they come in, I got this problem, this problem. Let's get to the root. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure more than 90% of the time, the root problem isn't anything that they suspected. I have met with people, their skin is bad, they're sick, they're bloated, they feel horrible, they're losing muscle mass. Everything is a complete shit show. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's keep talking. Half hour goes by, an hour goes by, 2 hours go by. Guess what it comes down to? They're in a shitty relationship. You're in a toxic relationship with your boyfriend or girlfriend. You need to end this. It is abusive. They're in an abusive situation at work. That's the problem. They have mold in their house. I thought that it was something that was in the fridge. No. You're a woodworker. You work in your garage all day long and there's mold in it, but you never suspected it. So we've got to get back to the nucleus, but sometimes it requires some digging and some work. But it's amazing what we can do if a human body can realign itself back to where it should be. It is unbelievable for anybody that's listening to this right now. If you can invest, and it is a big investment, if you can invest 3, 4, 5, 6 months of your life getting really realigned, do some detoxification, do some of these practices, you would be shocked at the power that is already in you. The intelligence, the awareness, the consciousness that's already in your brain, the physical strength that your body has to lift weights and be stronger and leaner, it's already there. But it's going to require you getting back to the way God designed you. Being 3, 4, 500 pounds is probably not normal in most cases, and being so sick all the time. This fucking everybody's sick every 2 minutes. Why is everyone so sick? I don't understand it.
Yeah, we weren't sick as kids. I don't recall that being a thing too much. I think I don't even know, a couple times I was maybe sick for a few days, maybe 2 in my whole life, and then the last time I actually had a cold was when I was pregnant with my oldest, and she's 31. So I haven't had a cold in 31 years. I never caught COVID either. And I had my gym open the whole time because I'm more of a preventive and functional medicine, that kind of thing. So I was allowed to keep the facility open, which was fantastic for my clients. And those that followed the protocol, which was detoxifying from the virus if you have it. If you come in and you were vaxxed, I'm detoxifying of you of that. Fixing your gut. Don't want to even say fixing. We just armored the gut. Those that came to me with either having the vaccine or had it never got sick again. Those that came to me and didn't want to get on board with that got sick every 6 months for almost 3 years. Every 6 months, like clockwork, they were sick again. Unknown why, can't tell why, or they would get tested and show for COVID again, show for COVID again, show for COVID again. I don't understand that, right? But we know it sits in that mucosal lining. We know it sits in that endothelial cells of the body. So it's cleaning it out. And to go back to the relationship part of it, my story with engineering is I got out of it because I couldn't handle the stress, the talking down to me because I was a woman in the field, the sexual harassment that came with it. And I'm a pretty strong woman. I've been through some shit. And I went into it was a Monday. I noticed every Monday I'd get those floating migraines and I couldn't see and I had this weird feeling and all this stuff. And I remember driving one time to the ER. I'm like, I got to figure this out. Something's not right. And they're like, you have anxiety and you're going to have to be on this pill and this pill. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, what? My mother couldn't even destroy me that bad. So guess what? I went in and quit. That's how I quit engineering. That's why I quit engineering. So I've been a single mother my whole life. I had a child at home. It was like, okay, great. But I knew that that to me was toxic. That was a toxic relationship. And a lot of people in my situation, maybe whether or not they were in my exact situation, but the amount of money I was making at that young of an age and had everything taken care of to walk away from that for my own health reasons of being told you're going to be on a pill for the rest of your life because of a job. I'm sorry. You got me effed up. I'm not doing it. Right. So it does come down to that. And I know in my facility, I'm going to say right now, you're with me for 3 months, 6 months. That's all I need. And you will feel completely different. Even if, which never happens, even if you don't change the way you look on the outside, you will wake up feeling different. And that to me, I think is the number one reason that people stay and come back is because they feel better first, right? Because when you feel better, we as humans, we're not supposed to be fat. We're not supposed to have all this extra weight. We're not supposed to have this inflammation in our body. And when your body sees that open door to being away from that, it runs 100 miles an hour. And the worst thing to do is to shut that door right in its face and go back to what you were doing before it gets through that door. Because then the body's like, oh, see, I tolerated you. And now you shut the door on my existence. Guess what? I'm going to fuck your life even harder than I ever did. And those people become sicker than ever before because the body saw a way out, you know? So I again, we can talk probably all day about this. And I think we jive the same. We feel the same. And I think for the most part, my audience feels that way because this is what I've been preaching and teaching for 20 some years. So I'm not going to back down now, guys, just to let you know. So
I love
Jason,
it.
where's your company
Love
going
it.
now? What do you have in the work? What are you looking to do in the next, 3-6 months?
I think the biggest two moves for me are content. I really have a lot of content to get out. I think that's a big thing, which isn't really a product, the supplement type thing, but I just think that I think we really need to share that. I think there's a lot of people that are fans of our brand, but they need to know the deeper point here. Like, how can we really help people with protocols to like really enhance their life? Like, whether it's emails going out or actually getting on social and saying like, hey, here's some tips of the day, here's things you can do and try. I think that would be one thing. And the second move is I'm going to go further into detox. I actually have another detox product I'm working on right now that you'll be able to combine with Detox 19 as a really just create the entire picture of detoxification and then adding protocols to that as well. I never, ever in my life did I ever think I would get into the detox market. I didn't see it, didn't quite understand it. I grew up around a lot of athletes. We just bang, take everything. Who gives a shit? And then, you start getting old, you start seeing things. And I think with where the world is at, once I really started understanding the real truth in the world, I started realizing how important detoxification and all of the additional stuff that we've damaged that we've done to our bodies and getting rid of that. And I think the third thing is really my mission to serve God. I became reborn again. I really have seen the world. Obviously, I threw parties for 15 years, so I was one of the biggest party throwers anywhere. I really understand what's going on out there. I got privy to a lot of things I've seen on the back end in the world going on, and I realized that we're in a spiritual battle right now. So, beyond protocols and sharing content with people and making great products and continuing to do that, and now really kind of shifting our brand even more into detoxification, I really want people to understand the importance of the relationship that you have with God and with a higher power. And that seems to be something that's disappeared in this world. I really want to share the message of like the power that we have through not only like prayer, but through great relationships that we have and serving the Lord and being a good student and a good teacher as well to humankind. And the knowledge that we know, I think that if I can inspire other people to push their content out that's of value, I think that we can really serve humankind. So I really want to share that message to people that are listening right now, whether you're in a high place or a low place in your life right now. Just understand that realigning yourself is really critical, and connecting to a higher power is absolutely critical as well. And sharing that message, I think, is vital.
Absolutely. I'm with all of that. So good for you. Um, so what does die sexy mean to you personally?
Leaving a legacy, leaving a legacy. I think that you know actually dying sexy, like actually like I'm coming to your funeral. Yes, you are a very attractive person. Yes, you are very intelligent. Yes, your blood work was really great. Yes, you fought anti-aging. Okay, 6 months go by, a year go by, 10 years go by. You're still sexy. I got it. What did you leave? What did you leave behind? How many people did you impact? How many other people's lives did you leave in a, you know, optimized state? How many people were served? So if I could pick one thing of saying what does die sexy mean to me, I would say leaving a true legacy, impacting people's lives right now and impacting them in a way that you actually live forever. That's sexy to me.
I'm on board with that one too. I'm trying.
Yes,
um,
I think your legacy lives on. We talk about people that died, 500 years ago and 300 years ago, left a really big impact in the world. And I think that eventually we will die. There's a big "don't die" movement. Like, come on, man! Like that. The only way to not physically die is transhumanism. I mean, you might be able to
right.
live to 150 without it. I don't want to become a cyborg. I like being who I am. I like being human, but I think leaving a legacy is far greater than any cyborg.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, I'm not worried about dying young. I don't care. That doesn't bother me, but I want to die knowing my loved ones. I want to know remembering who I am, and I want to know that I have left something behind. Whether, they say the average is 2 months to 6 months after you pass, people kind of forget about you. Dude, that's terrible, in my opinion. Like, what did you do with yourself that people forgot you that fast? And at the same time, grieving is one thing, forgetting about someone is totally different. And you look at someone like Charles. I mean, Charles has been gone for what, 5, 6 years now, and I'm still mad at him every day that he left because I'm like, dude, I didn't finish draining that brain because you were so greedy with everything. But
Yeah,
I look at, there isn't a day that goes by that I'm either not talking about him, remembering something he said, and you talk about the higher self. Maybe this sounds too woo woo for you all, but this is who I am. He still comes to me in my dreams, and he'll still tell me things. When I'm in a session with my Reiki girl, oh, she's telling me things, and she's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and he's giving me protocols for my own body, and I know it's him because it's like I can ask a direct question right back and he has the exact answer. And I'm like, yeah, that's Charles. So there's that part that when you become clean, when you become connected, that pineal gland, as you mentioned, right? Open that up. Let it work. It's more for than just your existence here. Let it work. And I think the cleaner you are, the way I look at myself is the cleaner I am, and that's spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever you want to talk about, the more I can hear myself, but also lead someone else. I don't think that if I were right now me to go into Serrano's a different story. I love him to death. But if I go into a facility and you're going to tell me how to deal with my health and you aren't better off than me, I'm in the wrong group, right?
yeah,
So I never ever, I tell my clients all the time, you are not doing anything that I either haven't done or haven't tried or haven't researched the shit out of. And if I haven't done it, it's because it really works and I don't need to do it, right? Like hormone stuff. Like I don't need to detoxify estrogen. However, you as a male, you might need to, right? So I'm not gonna biohack that just to see how it works. I know how it works based on this. So I 1000% agree with the whole. I love it that you said that. By the way, that's fantastic. So Jason, where does everybody find you?
You guys can find me at theultrahuman.net. The, like THE, ultra, ULTRA, human.net. That is our direct website. If you guys want to reach out to me too, you can just email me through the website. A lot of them will get forwarded to me. I actually check a lot of the emails myself personally. So feel free to reach through there. It's Jason at theultrahuman.net, and you can message me, and I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you guys want to use a discount code, you can actually use the discount code conscious, literally just straight conscious, nothing else, plus minus, and that will give you a $10 gift card. And Adrian, you also have a promo code as well,
I
and
do.
you can share that actually in the comments.
Hmm.
And everybody, you can use Adrian's code for a discount as well. We made that specifically for her since we become good friends, and yeah, that's where you
Yes,
guys can find me. So look me up. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to connect, and I love answering questions and anything I can do for any of you. Never hesitate to ask.
yes, and we will keep an eyeball out for that podcast you're coming up with. We'll be eager to see that come out and all the amazing humans that you will be interviewing on there and sharing their stories because I think we as humans need that network. Again, you talked about aging, and they say those that live the longest is because they had a purpose, they had family,
Yes.
and they had something to do with life. And I think that we've gotten away from that. So I'm super excited to do this and to move forward with the group of people like you. And I think that, like you said, we're maybe a small group, but we're freaking powerful, man. We're
It
powerful.
really is. People need that information out there, and you're doing a fantastic thing with your podcast and your show. It's getting this information out is so primary right now and so important. And the people you're around, surround yourself with, is so critical. And also, take looking at people that are where you want to be. I think
Mm.
that, like, if you guys read a lot of like Eckhart Tolle, and ego is the enemy, and this, it's a real thing. Like, and a lot of time people can't swallow their pride for a minute and actually go and get help and go and get advice. So when you see people that are where you are, don't be afraid to approach them. If there's anything Adrian or I could do, great. But there's also millions of other people out there that feel the same way we do, um, and they would be happy to help you. And if you see somebody that's in a really healthy relationship, ask them, "Hey, I want to know how you met your wife or husband." If you see somebody that's a boyfriend, girlfriend, if you see somebody that's really physically in great shape, like, "Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to know, like, if you could give me one piece of advice, what would it be?" There's a guy online, and I think his Instagram is a School of Hard Knocks, and he
Okay.
goes around and he interviews very wealthy people and says, very quick. I mean, the thing's like maybe just 2 or 3 minutes long, but it's become such a popular show because people are afraid to ask. You see this guy getting out of the Lambo, and you're like, I don't know what he does. I don't want to go talk to him. I just want to take a picture of his car. But they're so willing to help. So, and I know, Adrian, knowing you, I know that you would help anybody. You would help somebody at a train station and probably sit there, miss the train, by the way, and write the entire diet for a person just to help them out. So, swallow the ego, go out there, find people. I'm always learning from people. I learn a lot from you, Adrian. I learn a lot from Eric Strano and other people that have been amazing mentors to me. And, everybody's happy to help and really build this community. So, seek more things, seek awareness, self-awareness and consciousness, and we just continue to build this community, and the stronger we get, the better we are, and the more we can help other people.
Absolutely. You know what, you guys, in public, I am not intimidating. I'm tired of hearing that. I am not intimidating. I was sitting at a coffee shop the other day, four women. They were trying to take a picture. I offered the picture. The next thing you know, they're talking, and we talked for an hour. Like you said, I missed my whole thing. That was fine. And they said you were so intimidating looking, but we wanted to know how you look like you do. And I'm like, well, just ask. Healthy, semi-muscular women aren't scary. We're just human like you. And like I told them, ask me what I don't like about myself. I'm still a woman. I'll have a lot of long list, right? Ask me what my favorite thing is, and I'll say my brain. I don't know. That's where I go. So I love that,
That's
Jason.
awesome. That is
Well, we
awesome.
will
I
get
love
you
that.
back on here when you start doing really fun things and more fun things, I should say. And looking forward to the other product because detoxification is Huge, huge. That and your gut, man. Those two things right there. You have those two things and you're good to go. So I'm super excited about it.
Definitely. And I'm so excited for what you're doing, Adrian. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you to the audience for dialing in and listening to this. It's always fun to have conversation with you, and it's always fun to share it with everybody. So thanks for all you do as well. And guys listening out there, I really don't vouch for many people. We talked about this a little bit earlier on the show, but Adrienne is truly not only an amazing person and businesswoman as well, but she's also so dialed into what she does. And I can really vouch that for any of my clients or somebody looking for a person to work with to really elevate them and enhance their life. Adrienne is a fantastic choice to work with.
Oh,
So God bless you and all the things you're doing. You're bringing a lot of light to people's lives, and keep sharing the good word and keep doing what you're doing. It's very impactful to people.
well, thank you, my friend. And I can say the same about you. And you keep those good products coming because we need help.
We'll keep it going.
All right. Until next time, guys, this is Die Sexy Podcast. Thank you for joining, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Take care.